I remember the moment when I first noticed something strange about him. It was during a conversation with her, and he was standing just a few feet away, pretending to listen while his eyes darted around the room. I could see the way he smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. There was something off about him, something that made me uneasy. I felt a tug in my gut, like a warning bell ringing inside me. But I didn't say anything. How could I have been so blind? Sarah warned me about Jake, but I didn't listen. I thought our connection was special. But now, I see the signs. Stay away from Jake. He's not who you think he is. Sarah's voice echoed in my head. My heart sank. I never thought I'd get caught in a web of lies. Jake had dazzled me with his smile and sweet words. I was head over heels for him, but Sarah's warning made me uneasy. She told me about his ex, Lily, and how he'd hurt her. I wanted to defend him. He's different, I thought. But doubt gnawed at me. What if he was just as bad? I felt lost. I replayed Sarah's words over and over. It was too easy to ignore the signs. I thought love would protect me, but it only made me weak. Every moment with Jake felt like a tug of war between love and doubt. I wanted to trust him, but I couldn't shake the feeling I was walking into a trap. Then it hit me. I'd to face him. No more hiding. I couldn't let love blind me anymore. I needed to find the truth behind his charming smile, no matter how much it hurt. I owed it to myself and to Lily. I'd to fight for my peace before it was too late. I took a deep breath and marched over to Jake. We need to talk, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. He raised an eyebrow, curiosity flickering in his eyes. What's up? He asked, his tone smooth. Sarah warned me about you, I replied, feeling my heart race. What really happened with Lily? He stiffened, the charm slipping. That's old news, he said, brushing it off. No, it's not just old news. I want the truth, I demanded, anger bubbling inside me. His smile faded, replaced by a defensive glare. You're overreacting. I've changed, he shot back. Changed? Or just hiding? I pressed, feeling the tension crackle between us. He took a step closer, his voice low. You don't know what you're talking about. Or maybe I do, I challenged, my heart pounding. I could feel the walls closing in. This was it. I'd to know if I was just another victim in his game. Tell me the truth, Jake. Now. Even with all the doubt in my mind, Jake was hard to resist. He had this charm that pulled me in like a magnet. When he looked at me, it felt like I was the only one in the room. His jokes made me laugh, even when I knew I shouldn't. That smile of his, it could brighten the darkest day. But as I got closer, alarms started ringing. Was his charm real, or just a disguise? I remembered Sarah's warning and felt sick to my stomach. Jake seemed too perfect. Each sweet thing he said clashed with the ugly stories I heard about him. I was torn between liking this charming guy and believing the manipulative person Sarah had described. I don't know if I can trust you, I said one day, my heart racing. Why not? Jake flashed that dazzling smile, but it felt like a trap. Because you're not who you say you are, I shouted, feeling the weight of my doubts. His smile faltered for a second. You're overreacting. I'm just being nice. Nice? The word echoed in my mind like a warning bell. I wanted to believe he was good, but every time he smiled, a voice inside screamed for me to run away. Was I falling for a lie? As days passed, I felt more confused. Jake's charm was like candy, sweet, but I knew it could rot my teeth. I couldn't ignore the nagging doubts that shadowed our moments together. Was this love, or just a dangerous game? I care about you, he insisted, but I wasn't sure if he meant it. Do you really? I challenged, searching his eyes for truth. Jake's charm was like a magnet, pulling me in, but I couldn't shake Sarah's warnings. Be careful, she'd said, her eyes serious. I wanted to believe in Jake, but something inside me felt off. Sarah had always had my back, and I couldn't ignore her instincts. Do you really know him? She asked one day, her voice tense. I shook my head. but I could see the concern etched on her face. Jake had a past, and I was too caught up in my feelings to see the red flags. I wanted to tell Sarah it was just love, but deep down, I knew better. Love shouldn't feel like a game of chance. Every time I thought of Jake, doubts flooded my mind. "Listen to me," Sarah urged, her tone firm. I felt the weight of her words. I needed to trust her. She was right. I couldn't ignore the truth. "I'm here for you," she reminded me. I nodded, grateful for her support. "Let's confront him," Sarah said suddenly, her determination lighting a fire in me. I took a deep breath, knowing it was time to face Jake. With Sarah by my side, I felt stronger. Together, we'd uncover the truth. As we approached Jake, my heart raced. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady. He looked surprised, but there was something in his eyes. Was it greed? Manipulation? "What's this about?" Jake smirked, but I could see the tension in his jaw. I glanced at Sarah, who nodded, her resolve clear. "You're hiding something," I shot back, "and I'm done pretending everything is fine." The air crackled with tension, and I could feel the betrayal hanging between us. "You're being dramatic," Jake replied, but his tone felt off. I could see the cracks in his charm. "Sarah's right," I said, my voice rising. I deserve the truth. The confrontation was electric, and I felt empowered. It was time to break free from this toxic love before it crushed me. As I faced the truth, betrayal hit me like a tidal wave. Jake's lies felt heavy on my chest, making it hard to breathe. I realized trust, something I gave freely, was gone. How could I have been so foolish? The pain cut deep, reminding me of what I believed was real. Every sweet word Jake had said now felt fake. I replayed our time together, hunting for clues I missed. It was shocking how love could twist into something so ugly. Anger and sadness swirled inside me. I'd opened my heart, only to watch it shatter in front of someone I thought loved me. Betrayal leaves scars that take time to heal. It changes you. I questioned everything. Could I ever trust anyone again? Fear of more hurt loomed over me like a storm. I knew I'd to reveal Jake's secrets, not just for me, but for Lily too. She deserved answers like I did. Taking a deep breath, I steeled myself. Each step forward felt heavy, but determination bubbled up inside me. I wouldn't let this define who I was. I'd rise from this mess and take back my strength. I refused to be a victim. I was ready to fight back. "Jake," I said, my voice steady but fierce. "It's time for the truth." His eyes widened, and I could see the panic flicker across his face. "What do you mean? I know everything. You can't hide anymore." I took a step closer, ready to confront the lies. Emotional manipulation is a sneaky and hurtful way some people control others. It can make you question everything about yourself, like your worth and reality. I didn't know how bad it was until I got caught in Jake's lies. At first, he seemed charming, but soon I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Jake had tricks up his sleeve. He'd say sweet things, then turn around and make me feel small. When I called him out, he'd twist everything around. "You're overreacting," he'd say, and I'd start to doubt myself. Was I really being too sensitive? That was his goal. He knew my weak spots. He'd poke at my insecurities just to get a reaction. It felt like he'd a manual on how to push my buttons, and I didn't even want to play. I thought I loved him, but deep down, I was losing who I was. The fights and confusion made me feel trapped. I wondered, is his love real, or just another trick? I was scared to speak up because I didn't want to lose him. But then something clicked. I realized I'd to see the signs of his manipulation. I felt a burst of courage, but talking about Jake's past made my stomach twist. I'd to face him, but my heart raced with fear. Betrayal whispered in my mind. Trust was gone between us, and I needed the truth. I'd to find out why he was so messed up. Sitting across from him in the cafe, I felt heavy with what I'd to do. "Jake, tell me about Lily," I said, my voice strong even though I was shaking inside. His face changed from chill to something dark. "You can't hide from this. You hurt her, didn't you?" His eyes turned sharp. "That's not true. She was the problem." His angry words hit me hard. I knew he was trying to twist this like he did with Lily. Lily's been through so much because of you, I shot back, feeling fire in my chest. You can't keep messing with people's hearts. I won't let you hurt me like you hurt her. I saw him flinch. For the first time I felt strong, standing up for myself and for Lily. Love can feel amazing, but it can also hide something dark. I learned that the hard way with Jake. At first he seemed perfect. He made me laugh and felt like a dream come true. But soon, I saw the truth. This was toxic love, and it started to twist my feelings and make me doubt myself. I didn't notice the signs until it was almost too late. Then, I uncovered his secrets. I found out he'd hurt his ex, Lily, just like he was trying to hurt me. When she told me her story, my heart sank. He made me feel so small, she said, tears in her eyes. I thought I needed him to breathe. I could see the pain in her face, and I realized those scars could haunt me too. Despite the love I thought we had, I felt trapped. Jake's sweet words turned into poison. I was losing myself, and fear of being betrayed wrapped around me like a heavy blanket. One day, I confronted him. "Why do you treat me like this?" I shouted, feeling brave. He just smirked and said, "You'll never leave me." His words hit me like a punch. I knew then I'd to make a choice, stay and hurt more or fight back. I chose to fight. "Love shouldn't feel like this," I declared, standing tall. "How do you find the truth when lies are everywhere?" That question chased me as I dealt with Jake's trickery. Every time I looked into his eyes, a mix of hope and fear twisted my stomach. I'd to dig deep for hidden truths, and I couldn't let my nerves stop me. Uncovering the truth felt like wandering through a dark maze full of surprises. I knew I'd to be brave. It all began when I decided to gather clues. I called Lily, Jake's ex, desperate for answers. Her voice was shaky, but she shared her story. "He played with my heart," she said, her pain clear. Each detail she revealed felt like a crack in my heart. I realized I wasn't just saving myself. I was fighting for Lily too. As I pieced the story together, anger bubbled up inside me. I'd missed all the signs. The more she told me, the more I saw how deep Jake's lies went. I felt betrayed, not just by him, but by my own trust. I had to confront him. I wouldn't let his charm trick me again. I was ready to expose his dark secrets. The truth wasn't just a weapon. It was my shield. I stood tall, knowing that facing the truth, no matter how hard, was the only way to take back my power and my life. When I finally faced Jake, my heart raced. "You think I don't know?" I snapped. He smirked, but I could see a flicker of worry in his eyes. "What do you mean?" he asked, pretending innocence. "I talked to Lily. I know everything," I shot back. His face went pale. Where could I find the strength to talk to Lily? I stood at the park's edge, my heart pounding. This was it. The moment I'd both feared and wanted. I needed answers, and I hoped Lily could help. The sun was bright, but a chill ran through me as I spotted her on a bench, staring into space. As I walked closer, I saw the sadness in her eyes. "Hi, Mia," she said quietly, almost like a secret. I sat down next to her, feeling the tension thick like fog. This was our big moment, a chance to uncover truths that could change everything. "Thanks for meeting me," I said, trying to sound brave. "I need to know what really happened with you and Jake." Her face changed, and I could tell this was hard for her. "He lied to me," she said, her voice shaking. "He made me feel like I was nobody without him. Then I found out he was cheating, and it broke me." Each word hit me like a punch. I felt her hurt and anger, and it echoed my own feelings. "I need to take him down," I said with fire in my belly. Lily nodded, her eyes sparking with determination. Together, we'd face the truth and fight for justice. In that moment, I knew I wasn't alone anymore. Lily took a deep breath, her eyes shining with tears. "I thought I was in love," she said, her voice shaking. "Jake seemed perfect. He made me feel special, but it was all a lie." Her pain was real, and I felt the weight of her heartbreak. Every day was like walking on eggshells, she continued, frustration bubbling up. One minute, he'd say nice things, and the next, he'd tear me apart. I lost who I was. She paused, her fists clenching. I thought love could change him, but I was just his puppet. I watched, as a spark of determination flickered in her eyes. But I fought back. I realized I deserved better. Her voice grew stronger. I had to see Jake for who he really was. His tricks wouldn't control me anymore. Emotional healing is tough, she admitted, wiping her tears. But I'm getting there. I'm putting my life back together. Each word was like a drumbeat of strength. I won't let him win. I owe it to myself to be happy. Lily's story filled me with anger for what she'd to endure and admiration for her fight. Recognizing emotional abuse is tough, especially when you feel swept away in a whirlwind of love. At first, everything seems perfect. But then, things start to change. You begin to question your thoughts, your feelings, and even yourself. Watch out for red flags. These can be constant criticism, sneaky manipulation, or gaslighting, making you doubt what's real. When I was with Jake, it was a roller coaster. He'd say he loved me, but his actions spoke louder. I felt like I was always tiptoeing around him, afraid of setting him off. He'd sulk, and somehow I'd end up feeling like it was my fault. Each time he dismissed my feelings or put me down, I felt a piece of me disappear. I couldn't let fear stop me anymore. The truth had to come out. Jake's secrets felt heavy on my chest, especially when I found out what he did to Lily. I knew I'd to expose him to take back my power. I wasn't just a victim. I was ready to reclaim my life. When I decided to confront him, I felt stronger. I wasn't just standing up for myself. I was fighting for Lily too. Jake's lies made us feel trapped, but I knew that revealing his secrets would give us a voice. The truth was my weapon, and I was ready to use it. I marched right up to him. Panic flashed in his eyes as I let the words fly. You think you can keep hurting us? Not anymore. Each word felt like a step towards freedom. I was no longer afraid. I was ready to battle against the pain he caused us. Facing Jake wasn't easy. It took guts to confront someone who hurt me. But in that moment, I understood how powerful the truth could be. I shone a light on his lies, and it felt like taking back control. This wasn't just about me. It was about breaking his hold over us and reclaiming our lives. You can't hide forever, Jake, I yelled, feeling the strength grow inside me. His smirk faded, replaced by fear. I could see it. His grip on us was slipping. I was done with his manipulation and greed. Lily stood behind me, her eyes wide with hope. Together, we were stronger. I stood there, heart pounding, staring at Jake. It hit me hard. Being vulnerable wasn't weak, it was my biggest strength. I'd found out his secrets, and now it was time to face him. I knew showing my feelings could lead to something big. Sure, it scared me to open up, but I'd to be real. Betrayal twisted in my stomach like a knife. Jake had lied, played with my heart. I was done hiding. I wanted him to see I wouldn't be pushed around anymore. Finding strength in being open meant feeling everything: fear, anger, sadness. It felt messy, but that's where I discovered my voice. I know what you did, I shouted, my voice shaking but strong. You hurt me, Jake. You can't keep messing with my feelings. His eyes widened in surprise. He wasn't used to someone standing up to him. My vulnerability was turning into courage, and I felt powerful. I realized being honest didn't mean I was weak. It meant I was taking back my power. With every tick of the clock, my heart thumped louder. I was ready to confront Jake, but the weight of what I'd to do made me feel heavy inside. I knew this was it. No more hiding. I pictured the cafe, the smell of coffee, Jake's charming smile that used to make me feel warm. But now, I knew better. That smile was just a trick, hiding the truth. I won't let him mess with my head again, I muttered under my breath, practicing my words. I'd to be clear. No more games. I thought about Lily's story, how she stood up for herself. That gave me strength. I'd to stay focused. No matter How charming Jake was. I wouldn't get lost in his lies. Anger bubbled up in me. How dare he toy with my feelings? I rehearsed my lines, wanting to catch him off guard. This time, he won't win. I took deep breaths to steady my nerves. This was my moment to take back my power. As I entered the cafe, I spotted Jake sitting at a table, relaxed and unaware. My heart raced. I walked over, determined. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady. Jake looked up, surprise flashing across his face. "What's wrong?" I squared my shoulders. "You know what you did. You can't keep playing with my heart like this." He tried to smile, but I wasn't falling for it. "Come on. It's not what you think." "No more lies," I shot back. "I'm done with your games." His expression shifted, and I saw the manipulative glint in his eyes. "You're overreacting," he said, trying to deflect. "No. I'm finally seeing the truth. I won't let you control me anymore." The tension crackled between us. I could feel the power shifting. This was my fight, and I wasn't backing down. As I spoke, I felt lighter, like the weight was lifting. "You think you can just walk away from this? You have no idea who you're messing with." Jake stared at me, realization dawning. I was no longer the girl he could deceive. This confrontation was about me reclaiming my life, my heart. "Let's see who really has the last word," I declared, ready to expose his lies and take back my future. As soon as I walked into the cafe, I felt a crackle in the air, like the moment right before a storm hits. People whispered and cups clinked, but I wasn't here to enjoy the vibe. I was here to get answers. My eyes darted around until they landed on Jake in the corner, his face blank. I took a deep breath. Every step toward him felt heavy, like I was carrying a backpack full of rocks. I was about to confront the guy who'd spun a whole web of lies around my heart. "Jake," I said, keeping my voice strong, "we need to talk." He narrowed his eyes, and for a second I thought he might try to wiggle out of it again. "What's there to talk about?" he shot back, but I could hear the nervousness creeping into his voice. I leaned closer, heart pounding. "I know about Lily. I know what you did." The words sliced through the air. I watched his face turn pale, the tension between us growing thick. He stumbled over his words, but I wouldn't let him off the hook. "You can't keep lying to me. This ends now." A surge of power rushed through me. I was done being the victim. The cafe sounds faded away, and all I could focus on was him, ready to pull the truth into the light. No more fear. Jake opened his mouth to protest, but I cut him off. "You played me for a fool. You thought I wouldn't find out?" His eyes darted around, searching for an escape. "I didn't mean to." "Didn't mean to?" I snapped. "You made your choices, and now we're done." Panic flashed in Jake's eyes as I laid out his lies. I could see the mask he wore start to crack. He leaned back, trying to look calm, but the truth hit him hard. His bravado was fading fast. "Jake, you really think you can keep lying to me?" I said, ready to expose his tricks. I could see him thinking, trying to twist things back to his favor. The confidence he'd was now just a thin shell, ready to break. His voice shook a little as he tried to change the topic. "Mia, you don't get it. It's all just a misunderstanding." But I wasn't buying it. I'd too much proof to let him fool me again. Fear and anger swirled in his eyes. "I know what you did to Lily," I shot back, feeling her pain in my heart. "You can't get away with this." Jake's fists tightened, and his mask fell apart. I could feel his panic rising, and for the first time, he seemed scared. It was a strong moment. At first, I thought Jake was perfect. He was funny, charming, and made me feel like the center of the universe. But soon, things changed. I started noticing weird things. When I shared my feelings, he twisted my words, making me feel like I was the one at fault. It was confusing. Was this love or just a trick? Every time I tried to talk to him, he'd brush me off. "You're overreacting," he'd say with a smile that felt like a lie. I felt trapped in a web of his lies while he pretended everything was okay. It was like I was drowning. Then I talked to Lily. She understood. Jake's charm is just an act, she said, her voice serious. I've been there too. It hit me hard. Jake was controlling, always making me doubt myself. I realized I wasn't alone in this fight. I needed to wake up. If someone makes you feel small or dismisses your feelings, that's a huge red flag. You deserve a partner who lifts you up, not one who pulls you down. I'd to trust myself and stop ignoring the signs. I was ready to break free from this toxic mess. Enough is enough, I finally declared one day. I was done with the games. I wanted real love, not manipulation. I thought I could break free from Jake, but I was wrong. His manipulation was like a tight rope, pulling me back just when I thought I was safe. One minute, I felt strong and ready to leave, and the next, he'd wrap me in sweet words and fake hugs. It felt nice, but I knew it was all a trick to keep me close. "Don't you see how much I care?" he'd say, his eyes shining with false affection. I wanted to believe him, but deep down, I felt the prick of doubt. Every time I tried to stand tall, he twisted my words like a pretzel, making me second-guess everything I thought I knew. It was a wild ride of emotions, up one moment, down the next. I began to wonder if I was losing my mind. As I learned more about Jake, his past became clearer. He was a master at this game, and I was just a pawn. I needed to dig deep and find my strength to resist his charms. I could feel the damage he was causing, and it hurt. I wouldn't let him take me down any further. "I can't do this anymore, Jake," I shouted one night, my voice steady. "I need to be me." He laughed, a cold sound that sent chills down my spine. "You need me. You know that." "No, I'm done being your puppet," I said, feeling a spark of courage. As I stood in front of the mirror, I felt a fire burning inside me. I'd to take back my power and stop letting Jake control my feelings. His lies twisted my heart, and I was done. It was time to act. I grabbed onto self-empowerment like a lifeline, guiding me to a stronger me. I set firm boundaries, knowing I deserved respect. I took a deep breath and faced Jake. "You can't keep doing this to me," I shouted. My voice was steady, even though my heart raced. No more would I let his sweet words hide his true colors. Whenever he tried to twist my words or make me feel small, I pushed back. "That's not fair," I declared. Saying no felt good, like breaking free from chains. I surrounded myself with friends who'd my back. "You deserve better," they told me, reminding me I was worthy of real love, not the kind that hurt. I took time for myself, doing things that made me happy. I realized standing up for myself wasn't just about confronting Jake. It was about loving me. With each brave step, I felt stronger. I learned I could walk away from toxic relationships. I refused to be a pawn in Jake's game. I wasn't just getting by, I was thriving. "I won't be your puppet anymore," I declared, my voice ringing with power. Trust is the base of every relationship, but it's super easy to break. When I first met Jake, I thought he was different. We shared laughs and secrets, but then I found out he was hiding things. My heart sank like a stone. Betrayal hit me hard. Each time he grinned, I wondered, is that real or just a trick? Fixing trust isn't a walk in the park. After uncovering the truth about Jake, I felt lost. I wanted to believe in love, but how could I? He'd lied right to my face. It was like walking a tightrope. One slip, and I'd crash. I learned that trust needs honesty and respect. Jake broke that trust, and I felt confused. I'd to face him. My heart raced with anger. "Why did you lie?" I yelled, feeling like a volcano ready to erupt. I was done feeling weak. I thought I knew Jake, but I was dead wrong. He was like a magician, pulling tricks right in front of me, hiding his true self behind a charming smile. His sweet words felt like candy, but I started to taste something bitter. Jake wasn't just playing with my heart. He was pulling the strings, making me dance to his tune while he hid his real motives. Every time I felt special, he'd turn around and make me feel small. It was like a roller coaster that wouldn't stop. One moment I was soaring high, and the next I was crashing down. I couldn't understand why he'd act this way. Why did someone so charming choose to hurt others? As I looked closer, I saw a pattern, a carefully woven web of lies that he thrived on. "Why are you doing this, Jake?" I finally asked one day, frustration bubbling inside me. He just smirked. "Why not? It's fun to see you squirm." His words hit me hard. I felt betrayed and angry. Jake wasn't the guy I thought he was. This was a harsh truth, and it stung. I had to protect myself. I couldn't let him keep playing games with my life. I needed to expose him and his lies, no matter how much it hurt. As I prepared to confront him, my heart raced. I took a deep breath and steeled myself. "I know what you're doing, Jake. It's over." He raised an eyebrow, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. "Oh, really? You think you can just walk away?" "I have to," I said, my voice strong. "I won't be your puppet anymore." The truth crashed into me like a freight train, leaving a mess everywhere. I'd exposed Jake's lies, and now everything felt broken. I thought I was brave, but facing his tricks was tougher than I ever expected. It felt like my heart was torn out, and I was left to gather the pieces. The betrayal hurt a lot. I'd trusted him and believed in his sweet talk. When I told Sarah and Lily what I discovered, I felt a burst of relief, but it quickly turned into fear. What would Jake do next? He was charming, sure, but also dangerous. I knew I'd crossed a line, and he wouldn't forget it. As I fought through this storm of emotions, I had to remind myself I was tougher than his lies. Every day was a struggle, but I vowed to keep myself safe. I set clear boundaries, determined not to let anyone mess with my feelings again. But everything got messy afterward. Friends picked sides, rumors flew, and I felt alone. I realized the truth came with a price. My world felt chaotic, but I had to stay strong. I needed to stand up, not just for myself, but for anyone else who might fall for his tricks. "I can't believe he did this to you," Sarah exclaimed, her eyes wide. No. I thought he cared," I replied, anger bubbling inside me. Lily scoffed. "He's just a liar. You deserve better." I nodded, steeling myself. "I won't let him hurt me again." As I put the pieces of my broken life back together, a fire ignited within me. I realized I could write my own story. The truth about Jake's lies hit me like a punch. I felt angry, hurt, but mostly determined. No more would I let him play with my feelings or decide my future. It was time to take control. Every detail I uncovered made me feel stronger. I wasn't just a victim anymore. I was turning into a fighter. I gathered proof of Jake's deceit and reached out to friends who believed in me. I was done being scared and tired of being manipulated by someone who didn't care about me. Taking control of my story meant more than just revealing Jake's secrets. I had to reclaim my worth and stand tall. Every time I confronted him, I felt powerful, pushing back against the darkness he tried to spread. This wasn't just about me. It was for anyone who felt trapped by lies. This journey showed me how important it was to know my truth and share it loudly. I wouldn't let my story end in betrayal. I was ready to write a new chapter, one where I called the shots. I was moving forward, tougher and more determined than ever. "Jake, you think you can keep lying to me?" I shouted, my voice steady. He smirked, but I could see the fear in his eyes now. "You don't know what you're getting into," he sneered. "Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing," I replied, my heart racing but my mind clear. "And I won't let you control me anymore." Deceit hurts. It cuts deep and leaves marks that never really fade. When I discovered Jake had been lying to me, it felt like the ground shook beneath my feet. It wasn't just the trust that shattered. It was my whole world. My heart raced, a storm of anger and confusion swirling inside. I thought I knew him, but I was wrong, so wrong. Every sweet thing he ever said felt like a sharp knife, twisting painfully as new truths came to light. I wasn't just fighting for myself. I was fighting for Lily. She deserved to know the truth. I had to confront Jake, even though it meant facing his lies, his broken promises, and the dark side of him that was desperate to keep everything hidden. "Why did you do this?" I shouted, my voice shaking. Jake just smirked, like he enjoyed the chaos he created. The weight of it all was crushing. I lay awake at night, my mind racing with doubts. What if he got angry? What if he turned it all back on me? But I couldn't do this alone. Lily was with me. Together, we'd stand up against Jake's manipulation. I won't let him win, I told her, determination lighting up my eyes. Me neither, she replied, her voice steady. We faced Jake together, ready to challenge the deceit. Enough of the lies, I declared, stepping closer to him. He sneered, but I felt a rush of strength. I'd to expose him, for Lily and for myself. Your sweet words mean nothing now, I said, my heart pounding. Even though I thought I was ready. For Jake's reaction, nothing could prepare me for the icy anger that hit me when I confronted him. His eyes turned dark, and the charming smile I once liked disappeared. The air felt thick and heavy. You don't want to dig into my past, Mia, he warned. But I'd to keep going. In that moment, I realized how dangerous he really was. It wasn't just talk. It was a threat that he could destroy me if I didn't back down. He leaned in close, and I felt a shiver run down my back. You have no idea who you're messing with, he hissed. Those words echoed in my head, reminding me of the toxic mess we were in. My heart raced. I was scared, but I wouldn't show it. I'd to stand firm. You won't control me like you did with Lily, I shot back. With every word, I saw his grip on himself slip. I wanted to expose him and show everyone the truth. But with each sentence, the danger grew. Fear squeezed my heart after I confronted Jake. I needed help. I couldn't do this alone. I called my friends, hoping they'd come through for me. Sarah was the first to answer. She burst through my door, arms full of snacks and a fierce look on her face. You're not alone in this, Mia, she declared, strong and steady. Her support wrapped around me like a warm blanket. As I told them what happened, I saw their faces twist in anger. They listened closely, their eyes wide with shock. Each gasp and murmur made my feelings of betrayal burn hotter. You deserve respect, not to be treated like some toy, one of my friends shouted. Their words made me feel stronger. I wasn't just fighting for myself, I was also standing up for Lily, who'd been hurt by Jake's lies. In the days that followed, my friends became my team. We plotted how to expose Jake. Let's show everyone the truth, we said, excited and determined. I felt less scared with them by my side. Whenever doubt crept in, they pushed me forward. You're tougher than you think, Mia, another friend said, giving me a determined nod. Their belief in me lifted me up. As I stood in front of the mirror, I saw a new me, no longer that scared girl who let Jake twist my feelings around. A wave of strength surged through me. I'd seen through his lies, fought back, and now it was time to take charge. I needed to empower myself and rebuild my life. First, I drew a line. No more letting people walk all over me. I practiced saying no, and it felt amazing. I picked up a journal and started writing down my thoughts. Each word was like peeling off a layer of hurt. I reminded myself, trust isn't just given, it's earned. I'd to trust myself again. I was worthy of real love, not the kind that hurts. Every day was a chance to grow. I joined the gym, met new friends, and dove into hobbies I loved. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. My past didn't define me. My choice to rise above it did. I promised myself to stay strong. Jake's betrayal wouldn't keep me down. I'd turn my pain into power. This journey was mine, and I was ready for it. I felt hope blooming inside me, eager to face whatever came next with my head held high. Hey, do you want to hang out this weekend? A new friend asked, breaking me from my thoughts. Yes, I'd love that, I replied, excitement bubbling up. Each moment was a step forward, and I could feel the darkness fading. I thought confronting Jake was the hardest part, but the real battle came after, healing from the heartbreak he caused. It felt like a truck had run me over. The betrayal, cut deep, and every time I remembered him, it was like a knife twisting in my gut. I knew I'd to find a way to heal and take back my life. First, I gathered my friends around me. I can't believe he did this, I shouted, my anger pouring out. They listened, nodding, letting me vent all my pain. It felt good to talk. I also started journaling. Why did I trust him? I scribbled, releasing the hurt swirling in my mind. It was like lifting a heavy weight off my shoulders. Next, I turned to self-care. I hit the gym hard, running until my legs ached. Each step made me feel powerful, like I was chasing away the darkness. I didn't just run, I painted and read too. I'm more than what he made me believe, I reminded myself. These activities helped me remember who I was before Jake. Then came mindfulness. I learned to focus on the now, not the past. Healing takes time, I told myself, and that was okay. Each day, I felt a little stronger. I wouldn't let Jake define my worth any longer. I'm ready to move on, I declared, taking one step at a time, determined to reclaim my life and happiness. I thought I was just dealing with a bad breakup, but it turned out to be way more complicated. I got caught in a love triangle, and it hit me like a punch in the gut. Trust? It's fragile like glass. When Jake lied, it shattered everything. Felt crushed, questioning everything I'd ever believed about him. His sweet words twisted into poison, and I knew I'd to guard my heart. I had to find my strength. I dug deep, faced my pain, and fought my way back. Every tear was a step toward reclaiming who I was. I discovered I was tougher than I thought. I stood up not just for myself, but for Lily too. Exposing Jake's lies felt like lifting a heavy weight off my shoulders. Love shouldn't be a fight. Next time I date, I'll remember that. Honesty and open talks are key. I'll trust my gut, even if my heart wants to ignore the signs. I get it now. My worth isn't tied to anyone else's love. I deserve a relationship that lifts me up, not one that drags me down.